A year ago, I showed you how to replace the ESLint and Prettier libraries with a single library that does the work of both. That library, of course, is Biome, which is relatively easy to set up in your local development environment using any of the current JavaScript runtime. And with a single command line interface command, you can generate a JSON configuration file for Biome with default configurations, which you can modify to suit your development team's needs. Additionally, setting up Biome for your CI/CD pipeline with a YAML file is a straightforward affair. I covered these topics in my previous Biome tutorial video, and the Biome documentation will assist you with this as well. But what if you don't want to go through the process of having to set up a config file and you don't want to integrate Biome into your build pipeline for whatever reason? What if you only want to use Biome as a linter tool for code analysis like ESLint and as a code formatter like Prettier? This obviously is not typical in the vanilla software development shop, but again, people have their own reasons for doing things based on their work or organizational requirements. If this is indeed what you want, then the process is quite simple. So here I have a 10 stack start application. I do not have Biome installed as of yet. I would simply add Biome as a development dependency via pnpm. I've aliased pnpm to just pn in my local dev environment. Once I have Biome installed, obviously I'm using VS Code. Therefore, I would want to install the official Biome extension for VS Code. And then I go into the VS Code settings and make sure that Biome is a default formatter for JavaScript, TypeScript, CSS, and HTML. And here is what that settings file look like in JSON format in VS Code. And just with those steps, my formatter is now working. As you can see, I do not have a biome.json file in this code base. And then in this React component file, I intentionally introduced linting errors just to make sure that biome linter is working. As you can see there, it is. And this comment shouldn't be there like that. Again, I have not generated a biome configuration file. I am using Biome straight out of the box. Another option that I have is from the command line, I can execute pnpx biome, of course, and then lint from there, like so. And it'll show me the linting errors that I have in my project. I will refer you to the documentation for additional CLI commands. There are organizations in the US and in the UK that does not allow Node.js or any other runtime in their ecosystem or development environment. If that is your situation, then Biome does offer some alternate installation methods to include installing the standalone CLI binaries, as well as some other options. I will paste this link in the description in case you need it. Whenever I talk about Biome, the subject of Oxlint always comes up. Yes, Oxlint is faster than Biome. However, I prefer Biome because I can replace both Prettier and ESLint with one library, whereas with Oxlint, I would still need prettier. Oxlint, as great as it is, does not handle code formatting. It only handles linting. Some people have mentioned using Oxlint for linting and then using Biome for code formatting. In my situation, in my workplace, that's just additional work that we don't have time for. And for my personal projects, I'd rather not have that workflow. So therefore, I chose Biome as my single library for both formatting and for linting. And it works very well uh, in the CI/CD pipeline as well. Okay, my dear friends, I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, please consider giving the video a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. It is completely free, of course. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.